Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to our session, and welcome to Miguel from Nova University. So first of all, I just wanted to say this isn't a fireside chat because there's no fire, okay?
You're always asking.
So if there is a fire, I'm sure we know what to do. But anyway,
so who goes?
a little bit of discontent in the audience there. Okay, so thank you anyway. So my name's Antony. I'm Senior Advisor for CBDC here at Ripple, or not physically here, but at Ripple. I'll be doing a CBDC session tomorrow with some great experts. We'll talk more about CBDCs tomorrow. But I'm very excited to welcome Miguel Bello from Nova SBE from the University in Portugal. Okay, I'm CBDCs. I'm nothing to do with the university side of it, the UBRI side of it. But I live in Portugal, and I do a lot of work with the ecosystem in Portugal. If anybody knows anything about Portugal, there's some crypto-friendly reasons to be in Portugal. There's also wine, good food, and good weather. So I've been in Portugal for 18 months or so, and what I wanted to do was really sort of get Nova University into the UBRI program, and thanks to Lauren and the team for accepting. So Miguel's going to talk about Nova University, what they're doing, and then more importantly, we're going to talk about a commemorative coin and some of the real projects. So we're only just starting the relationship, but we're actually doing projects, give or take now. So Miguel, welcome.
So hello everyone, my name is Miguel Bello, and I'm the Head of Corporate Engagement and Fundraising at Nova School of Business and Economics. It's in Portugal, in Lisbon, near Lisbon, in Carcavelos. And Nova in English means new. So we have the disruptive DNA since the beginning, and we are the leading top business school in Portugal and one of the top business schools in the world. So I think our major in management just scored in the 15th place on the Financial Times ranking. Finance, it's our best area. We have the 11th best master in the world. And so, of course, DeFi for us was a natural step. Late in 2021, we understood we were in a very sweet spot. So Cascais, that's in the Lisbon coast, where Antony lives.
Where I live.
Has a community of blockchain, DeFi, and crypto entrepreneurs. So we had, the people were there. Portugal has a very friendly tax system towards crypto. And also we have a very mature fintech ecosystem composed not only by global operations like Revolut, Klarna, MasterCard, but also some Portuguese startups that have already been internationalized. So it made complete sense that the best business school in finance would try to leverage its knowledge in a country that is in a sweet spot and try to understand what we could do on DeFi. So that was a bit how we went on a date.
Exactly. And I think the other part as well, which we were talking about the other day, was that Nova University background, the sort of foundations is finance, and it was quite important because obviously Ripple being finance and the XRP ledger for payments. So is it that correct that Nova's from a sort of finance background?
Nova's background is on 3 subjects, so economics, management, and finance.
Okay.
And currently finance, it's the one that sets the word in the world. So we have students that after Nova go to every top bank in the world, investment bank, every top consultant. But what they want right now, it's not that. So they want new solutions. When Nova is basically betting on 3 main areas. So innovation, sustainability, and DeFi. Okay. Because our students want that.
Yeah.
One very stupid example, but I think it's wonderful. We have a retail store on campus for students to go there and buy stuff. And we are very used to buy stuff in our supermarkets, but the students have a new type of frame in their minds. So they are making the retailer that it's there to change their packaging, to change the operations. So they want different things. For example, we have here one student of Nova, it's Mahmoud. He's the president of the Nova Blockchain Club that was created without telling to anyone in the university. So the students created this initiative. I think 5 months ago, they already have 45 students involved. And now we are already pursuing some opportunities together. So we have a roadmap designed to structure our initiatives. We aim to build an institute on blockchain, on Web3, on decentralized finance. And for us, the UBRI was a major conquest.
Yeah, and I think one of the previous discussions that I was just in around metaverse, and the summary of that sort of session, 20-minute sessions, I can summarize. It was nobody knows what the metaverse is and what's going to happen, basically. And to be honest, I've been in blockchain for 5-6 years now, and every day I'm still blown away by the amount of change and what's happening. It's still, and I work in this full time. So I think what's really interesting is that bringing this together and the practical side as well of the Nova University is the shop, by the way, that they have, you don't pay, okay? You just walk out. You pick the things up and walk out. That's a good one. And again, it's practical, and the students, obviously, they pay on the app, so it's like Amazon Go. Yeah. But it's watching how the students interact, and I think that's the important part of where we need to go on a journey as a community over the next, 10 years or whatever it's going to be. And, so you're setting up the faculty around, DeFi and finance and other things. Are there any projects that you've got coming up that we're going to kick off with?
Yeah, so as a university, our main mission is to educate, right? And most of the times we think about educating the students that are there. But we still have an entire ecosystem in Portugal to educate regarding these topics. And so this project we are mentioning, the NFT Commemorative coin, it's a project towards, the main objective is to join a physical and a digital asset. And that may sound for you something basic, but for the people that work in the institutions that haven't had the opportunity to study those topics some years ago, it's completely new. So we are trying to create a case for an entire generation to understand the potential for blockchain, for NFTs, and to try to understand what is going to be the change and how they can be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, again, it's a real project that we're starting off together with Ripple, Nova, and some other partners. And it is a first step of a long journey of trying all these different things. And instead of just talking about them and doing the research, we want to try things. And, that's why I'm personally excited working with the Nova team, because they want to do things. There's probably the roadmap and list is too much, to be honest. But we'll get through it. And it's good to see this plan, and it's good to see, it coming together. And I think, an NFT commemorative coin is a very interesting way to go, bringing together physical and digital for humans to do different things, for citizens to do different things. That then leads to businesses. And then actually, what's going to be next? Because, I was just thinking back to the metaverse discussion is, well, who's going to pay? How do we pay in the metaverse? Do you use the Antony coin? If anybody wants to buy it, I don't know where you can, but anyway. I should have set that up, and then I could have sold my coin on stage. So if you got a coin that's just in my name, why would you buy it? Why would you use it? If you've got a Nova University coin, maybe the students actually might use that. But why would you use that? Because you're from different universities, different companies. So this is what the research is going to be doing, and the practical research of how these things sort of mix together and what we can learn from those. And, you mentioned the roadmap. How long's the roadmap? What's the sort of thinking around it? I know it's very early stage, but just give us an idea.
Nova SB is a public university. And we just finished the first major fundraising scheme in Portugal to build a new campus. It was inaugurated in 2019. Then COVID, so it was not the best time to inaugurate a campus. But now everybody is already on campus. And so we are thinking about the fundraising 2.0. And we think blockchain can be the major thing here, because regarding donations, you have the emails, the QICs, you have the easing of payments. So all these questions are answered by blockchain initiatives. So we have these, we have some DAO experiments with scholarships. We have some tokenizations also around the scholarships. We have some education programs towards different levels of generations. And we are tackling this at the same time we are tackling some sustainability issues. For example, Portugal is one of the oldest countries in the world in terms of also the population. So our age pyramid is not a very very sustainable age pyramid. So how can we tackle this, and how can we put blockchain and other technologies working for us to solve these problems? So we are connecting blockchain with sustainability.
And I think it's a really interesting concept because, as I mentioned, I live in Portugal and, I lived in London for 25 years first. So I'm used to technology moving quickly and things happening. And if it doesn't happen, we complain because I'm British as well. So we obviously complain about everything. In Portugal, they've got some very old systems and old processes, traditions. And, as Miguel says, a more aging population. And so it's more challenging to change things. And you can't just do what you can probably do in London and make people use a card for payments. That's it. Your phone or your card. You have to consider this and you have to work with them. One of the things I was really taken back by, the campus, by the way, is if this is a campus, there's a road there and then there's the beach and the sea. So basically the students get to look at...
We have to leverage our
assets. So the students get to look at the sea. So I'm not sure the students learn anything because they're always looking at the sea. Because I know what I'd be doing. I'd be like going, when am I going surfing? And so on that as well, they built, or they're building surf lockers. So you can keep your surfboard downstairs and walk down the tunnel into the beach. I mean, anybody want to go to Nova? Because believe me, I want to go to study at Nova. But also, they allow the community, the actual university is open to the community. So I was very shocked the first time I went. I just
Nobody
walked in.
asked you nothing,
I just walked in and I'm sort of, where's Marco, where's Miguel? Like, what do I do? And there's a reception desk and it's very nice. You can go and use the bank. You can go and use the shop, which you don't need to pay. You can go and, there's a piano in the middle of the first floor. So you can go and play the piano. And it's very inclusive, and I think that sort of thinking is going to help when we're testing things. And I know Marco was one of the other Nova faculty was telling me they've got cash machines downstairs. So one of the big, cash machine providers, and none of the students use it because they all use their phone to withdraw cash. So it's called MBWay, it's a Portuguese sort of payment system. And basically, you put onto your phone, I want, €100, and you go to the machine and type it in. So you don't need a card, you don't need the card reader, you don't need any of that. So they had all these really amazing, I was like, oh, that's quite cool. He said, no, none of the students use it. They just use their phone, type it in, and just take the cash out. And it's things like that which is really interesting and going to help sort of bring some of these ideas forward.
That's interesting because that company, that's Portuguese, very well-established company in the financial services, decided, okay, so Nova has a lot of international students, so more than 68% are international. Let's put here a cash machine to try to study their habits. And they have no data. So they have a huge dashboard in their room with no data. So yeah, that's the type of clash we are having. So as Antony was saying, we have our student classes on the extremities of the campus. So the center of the campus are places for collaboration. And what we are trying to do, and we already have 20 companies on campus, is to have their innovation teams on campus working. And adding to this, we have a very well-structured project learning methodology. So all students do projects with companies. One of my main tasks is to understand the corporate challenges and to match with what students are aiming to solve. Actually, it's me and Professor Rita that is there, one of the responsibles of this part.
Yeah. And one of the things we talked about earlier, excuse me, was sustainability. And, XRP Ledger and Ripple, we're very, very strong on, sustainability and making sure, carbon neutrality and even carbon positivity. As we progress and, with our sort of blockchain, obviously, lots of discussion about consensus and proof of work, etc. at the moment. What are you guys doing around sustainability? How do you view that?
Okay. So the vision of the school is to educate people towards a better and sustainable world. We have more than 100 subjects around sustainability. We have some chairs on sustainable finance and other sustainable topics. And what we are doing right now is, so this is a process that's taking right now. So we are meeting with the biggest companies operating in Portugal to understand their corporate challenges. And we are framing an institute where we are all together, regulators, companies, and the university, to solve their challenges. And this is all made under a radical collaboration agreement where what has been proved as having a positive impact must be implemented. Okay. If not, they leave the institute, and instead of greenwashing, in terms of communication, they have red, I don't know,
okay,
the bad one.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And, it's so important to what we're doing, everybody in the planet and around that, bringing it together. So, yeah. Okay, there's one thing. I forgot what I was going to say then. But this is because one thing, if you have a fireside chat, you should have some wine.
Yeah.
Just a note to the organisers. There was some Portuguese wine as well last night at the event, did anybody try it? Yes, good. A few?
Good.
That's good to know.
Price, quality, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the first things we're doing, obviously, is the commemorative coin. Mm-hmm. With DeFi, what was the thinking around DeFi? Where are we thinking of going with that? Are there any ideas yet? How are we bringing the students in? What's the process for the next stage of this roadmap?
Okay, so as I said, we have a new Nova Blockchain Club. And what we are setting up is we are organizing a meeting with students, faculty that already work on the topic, and staff. So, for example, me and some other colleagues have a background in consulting. So we bring some added value to the table in terms of structuring the problems and the framing. And that's where we'll understand how are our competitive advantages and where we'll bet.
Yeah.
Because Nova, as a public university, we need to be bold, but we need to strike and to score goals, because we don't have a lot of money. Portugal is not a very rich country. So when we kick, we need to score goals. So that's our game plan in a high level. We have a roadmap for 3 years.
Yep.
We are studying things like creating sandbox for test bedding solutions with regulators. We are aiming to do some big conferences also towards big corporates. We are one of the major providers in terms of education programs for financial services companies. And so we also need to try to change them, right? Or at least to foster change. And so one of the plans we also have is to create a major program regarding DeFi for established banks. So what it means to them.
Yep.
And I think that will be different, because most of the times they are clashing. So we want to try to present in a different way.
Yeah.
So for DeFi, it's more or less this.
Yeah.
For blockchain, I think it will be key for the Sustainability Institute. So we are aiming to have a chair on blockchain, so a specific faculty with a research team to tackle this, and to work closely with 2 other chairs we have, one for social inclusion and the other for inequality. So we want to bring them together, to collaborate, to understand how blockchain can impact this.
Yeah. No, excellent. And I think, bringing all these areas together is the theme of what the conference is, today and tomorrow, is we've got to work together. Not a financial institution doesn't have the answer, a government, and obviously universities, etc. They do need to work together, and it's these types of partnerships, and obviously the UBRI program does these sorts of things, so that, when we're having the discussions from the experience, supposedly, that we can then bring it together and ask how the younger people, how they interact, and then merge it together. And it's going to be difficult as we move into a more digital world, especially around privacy and identity and those types of things, which is a common theme in most of what we discuss at these, especially with central bank currencies and other payments. The world is going to go in a different way, or different ways than today. And I think that's what will be great, working with you guys and sort of learning from there.
I think we have a lot to learn with UBRI and also with all the partners.
Yeah.
And like you said in the beginning, we are doers, so we prefer to do instead of talking. So I hope, for example, in 1 year, you can be all in our campus, because we have a new campus.
Definitely go. definitely go.
And to present 2 or 3 new things that we have done with your cooperation and to try to showcase some results with impact.
Brilliant. No. So thank you very much. It was great to meet. Thank you. Cheers.